My name is Tiandra, but I go by CeCe. I'm 39 years old and I work in insurance. I currently live in Granada Hills, California. My job in insurance will help me tremendously in the game because I'm a negotiator and I read people very well. I talk to attorneys and mediators all day. I talk to adjusters and different people from all over. So I've learned the skill of learning how to read people and I can negotiate very well. So I think that would be a very good tactic for me to have in the game. I'm doing Survivor because I love the game. I've been a fan since the first season. I remember vividly when the first season aired in 2000. My daughter was just born and this crazy show comes on TV. I'm like, what the hell are they doing? And I was like, oh my God, I so want to do that. So I fell in love with the game from the very first season and I've been desperately applying to get on this game ever since. The qualities that I have that will help me win is, one thing, I've been watching this game from the beginning. I know they have some newer people who are on the team, younger, who were babies when the show first aired. I've been watching the game. It felt like I grew up with the game, basically. I was 23 years old when the game first aired and I'm 39 years old right now, so it's like I watched it grow, I watched it develop, and just that alone gives me the skill. But just, you know, my people skills. I can read people. I know how to turn it on, turn it off. I know how to be a little nice here, a little mean here, a little aggressive here. I just know how to be a jack of all trades because I've been told before by my ex that I have multiple personalities. So I guess that will help me in this game in this case. So I talk too much. Sometimes I speak before I think. So my mother always said, hey, when you go on this game, just listen. And even in life, period, I've been told that so many times in different situations where I say something, I may hurt somebody's feeling unintended or something like that, and say something to my kids that I really didn't mean to say. I speak before I think, and that's just something that's always been my Achilles heel just growing up as a kid. Is I always want to just blabber out. Something tells me something, I want to blab it out and to go share some news or bad news or gossip or whatever it is. I just talk too much, so I just need to shut up sometimes. Just the past few years, I just had this urge to do these races. One of my girlfriends, she was like, hey, I want you to do the Spartan race with me. I didn't even know what it was, and I just was like, okay, I'll just go ahead and give it a shot. Oh my God, that was the most grueling thing I ever done in my life. It was 110 degrees in Temecula. I was not prepared. I just had, you know, just depended on the water stations because I didn't read the, you know, the information guide that they give you that you should read, you know, to, you know, before you go on this Spartan race. I'm more of a doer than a read instruction person, and I went out there and almost died. They actually had to shut the race down because it was so hot. They had emergency crew come and they had to shut the race down, but it was the worst challenge of my life. And then I turned around and did it again 3 months later, and I was like, I'm gonna you know, finish this and accomplish this race. And I did 4 more races after that, and I'm like so addicted to these Spartan races, and it's like military courses in the dirt and in the mud. So I'm like, that alone, that will help me out here. And just the fact that I love to work out of the gym a lot, so I'm like, you know, this fitness person, and you know, really trying to be the best fit person in my life at this time for my age. So I'm just trying to make my body better. So growing up, I did have a pretty rough upbringing. It just, you know, I just remember there were times where food wasn't as substantial as it should be compared to some of my friends. I didn't have like the latest clothes. A lot of my clothes I got either from churches or hand-me-downs from people at the church or neighbors or friends such like that. So my mother was a stay-at-home mom, and just her husband, he wasn't my dad, he was my stepdad. He worked, and so it was hard. It was pretty tight, pretty tight budget. It was times we were on social services from the government to help us with food and stuff like that. And so growing up, as I got of age, I noticed that, you know, I've only had one pair of shoes, or I was wearing the same pants, you know, every other day or something like that. And it just pushed my grind. So by the time I was 14, I got my first job, and it just pushed me to say I would never be hungry. I would never have to want or need for anything. And that's just always been my focus ever since then. So it just caused me to be very independent, but it also caused me to have a little bit of a hard exterior as well, because it was like I knew I had to be tough. You know, we didn't live in the best neighborhood, and you know, I was catching the bus and, you know, taking care of my brother, going to the store and different things like that. So it caused me to have a little bit of a hardened exterior as well. But That's life, and I think I'm better because of it, because I teach my kids that, hey, you have to work for it. You have to work. Nothing's going to be handed to you. If you want something, if you want success, you have to work hard for it. I'm just super excited to just get in there and start strategizing and talking to people and reading them and seeing what they're about. So I'm super excited to just start the game.